Okay, here's all this promotional Chima stuff. I just put that there. I got so many magazines and posters advertising the special Chima premiere event, and here's what I thought about it. I went on for 13 minutes telling the synopsis, and I just deleted that video because that was just boring and whatever. So I'm just going to give a rundown of the synopsis, some spoilers, so if you haven't watched it, I would say check it out if you're a Ninjago fan, but whatever, okay. So anyways, basically it starts out with this guy named Laval, right? He's like the main lion kid, and he's kind of like a cool dude, you know, he's like, whoa, and he reminds me of Max from actually like Goof Troop and stuff like that, I think, Goof Troop, right? And so he goes to get an orb of chi from his father, which is called Labias or something like that, and his father is just like, oh, it's finally the day. And then we could see some, like, it zooms out and then there's like crocodile tanks coming. And so they do a flashback establishing Krager, which is Laval's best bud, and Laval's relationship, right? And so it shows them as friends, right? Back in the day. And then they start showing people from the tribe. So they show Eris comes out of nowhere. She's an eagle and she's like, yo, what's up? Whatever. And it's a she. And she kind of has like a high-pitched voice, whatever. Okay, and then we got the gorilla guys, and that guy's name is Gorzon, right? And then we got the bears, and the bears are just like, whoa, and I forgot his name, and then the rhinos. And then they have a skunk, right? And you would think, okay, we haven't seen the skunks before. We know there's a skunk set, right? And that comes with Skinette, and this is Skinette, and we're like, okay, what's going to happen? Okay, skunks, come on. And then, guess what happens? They do a fart joke, basically, because she, I don't even know what gender it is, sprays their skunk spray on them. Good job, Lego. You just ruined a whole character tribe. Now we know all they're going to be doing is fart jokes. And they don't appear for the rest of the whole special. 1 hour. Nothing. They just appear for that 1 second. That one skunk. So whatever. Okay, we could get past that. So, let me see what happens. Basically, the crocodiles have tails, which is very different from the actual minifigures, and they start basically like talking, and they show their relationship, and basically what they do is Laval and Krager, they go to the temple, and this is all in a flashback, and Krager tries to get an orb of chi, and he puts it in his chest, and then he starts going crazy on a rampage, and he starts just like attacking people, and so they have to stun him, right? And that makes Krager's parents mad, and so Krager's parents calls the lions out for it, and the lions call that out, and then it causes basically racial segregation or special segregation between them, because now the lions don't want Laval to talk to the crocodiles. No, I've seen this done a billion times before, and you know, so they start doing that, and then what happens is that Krager sneaks again with Juarez, which is a wolf, and he's one of my favorite wolves from the minifigure review, and Juarez just books on him, and then Krager gets caught, and he just starts running away, and then he sends a flare, and then Laval confronts him, and then the flare, what it does is it sends the lions and the crocodiles to war, and they start just battling, stuff like that with their machines, you know, punching each other, and then what happens is that, okay, so the crocodile, their ship with the crocodile king and queen, they get stuck in like a ditch, and so Krager tries to save them since those are his parents, and he's like, oh, let me save you, and then Laval's like, you can't do it. And they fall into a ditch, and they're basically killed off, but they're not killed off because they're alive under the ditch. So there's that, and it's just like, okay. So Krager gets mad at Laval, and Laval gets mad at Krager, and they just disband basically. And let me see, Krager goes to his lair, and he's crowned king since the king is basically dead. And so now since he's the king, he gets to make all his decisions. And that's it for episode 1. Episode 2, basically it shows that Krager's sister, Crueler, and she basically kind of like uses this powder to like control Krager, and she's making his decisions. And then they give the Chima backstory from Laval and his father talking, because they basically cut to the Lion Temple. And basically it was all about these animals, and they were just regular animals. And when they showed this animation, they were just hand-drawn, not even Lego animals. They were just regular animals. And there was this water thing, and then a temple, like an island flew up, and then they had this waterfall, and if you drink from the waterfall, you would basically become an animal minifigure. So that was pretty interesting, and that's how the Chima people came to be, because they drank from that. And then there's like 5, I think, one from each tribe that didn't drink from it, and those are like the legendary animals. And so what they do is they cut back to regular time. Then they show how the lions distribute the chi crystals and basically all the tribes come, and none of the skunks, like I said, they don't appear for the rest of the stuff. So basically all the tribes get the skunks, and what they have to do is ride their speeders in a race, and they start battling in the race and stuff like that, and Laval prevails to become like the winner of the race. But then Kragger comes out of nowhere and he's like, wait, stop, I am going to hit like Eris with my speeder. And so Eris becomes a damsel of distress, which was kind of sexist, and she starts just yelling and stuff like that. And so Laval just was like, don't do that, I'll race you. And then they start racing, and then they get off to the woods, and they start fighting in the woods, and then Kragger just runs away after Gorzon confronts him, and then Kragger calls all of his troops over to fight the lions, and then they start just going in all-out warfare. We got the ravens on there, and the wolves on the crocodile team, and then all the other tribes on the lion team except the skunks, and they start fighting and fighting and fighting, and then Laval just like gets away, and he calls one of the legendary animal thingies. They come in, it's just like a lion, and it's basically just a regular animal type Lego piece, and he just comes and, well, he comes over to the whole battle, and then he makes them stop. I forgot what happened. And that's it for the episode. So yeah, what I think of them. So episode 1 I think was a little bit more boring than episode 2, but you gotta watch episode 1 to get episode 2, but it wasn't really impressive. I mean, it reminded me a little bit of Ninjago, but I haven't really watched Ninjago. So I would say if you're a fan of Ninjago, check it out. But a lot of the characters, they were just thrown in. Like I said, the skunks, they had 1 scene. The bears had like a total of 3 scenes, and the gorillas probably had the most out of all the other tribes besides, I think the wolves. The wolves had more. And the most was obviously the lions and the crocodiles. And so the gorillas were just like, they had a few scenes because Gorzon's like the main gorilla. And the ravens had basically no main scenes because they just said they called on them and they were in the battle and they were in the speeder thing. So that's kind of disappointing because the ravens are actually pretty cool. And so I think they should have at least spent a little more time introducing the characters. But yeah, that's it. And I'll definitely be checking out the other stuff because you guys probably would like this. So bye. I want to hear what you guys thought of it. Post your comments in below. Peace out.